Hello guys, and welcome back to more Legion content. Today we are looking at the Emerald Nightmare, a 7-boss raid where we will try to save the Emerald Dream from corruption. To do this we have to climb the tainted world tree Shaladrasil located in the center of Val'Shara. And by doing so we are going to tear down the barrier between what is dream and reality, and you will come across a lot of familiar places in here that are not quite as you remember them. There are a few areas within the Emerald Nightmare, and it's impossible to say which order we are intending to tackle them when the raid finally gets released, so I'm just going to present them to you one by one. But this one felt like a good start, as it seems to be a branch of the tree with different portals. This is probably a place that we will come back to time after time while we are progressing through the zones. Now the next zone is really just fantastic. This is the Emerald Dream in its uncorrupted form. You should be aware of the old Emerald Dream map files, and if you are not, I have a video on it. I will link it down below. I will put it on the screen so you can see and compare the difference. And it's actually fun to see that they are using some placeholders from that map. For example, these statues you see here in this forest. Now, when you first look at this area, it feels like it never ends, but that's not the case. Behind this small glade, there's really nothing else to it. The environment becomes unfinished instantly, and then it basically cuts off. I personally hope that they expand on this zone a little bit, but even if they don't, it's going to be fun to have a peek into the uncorrupted Emerald Dream and see how Blizzard really imagined it. So let's proceed to the next area, which is Angora Crater. Everything about this zone looks basically untouched, that is, until you get to the center of it. Here the ground is corrupted around a nightmarish tree, and it almost looks like the Well of Eternity is going to fall down from the sky behind it. So it looks like we are never going to come close to the actual zone, but instead we are going to move around the corrupted area and the tree, and everything else is just a backdrop. And you will see similar indications in the other zones as well, so we're gonna move on and we're gonna take a look at those. The next area has been briefly shown before, and that is Mulgore. As you can see, the zone is torn apart and nothing is holding together. There are a few platforms here that seem to be intended for players to move around on, and if you look at the Gruul scale model, you will see roughly how big the area is. And behind the platforms you have a broken Thunderbluff floating in pieces. And again, I think this will work as a really cool backdrop that will be there in the distance, but we will never really get close to it. So the next area is Moonglade, and while the village seemed to be okay in its own, it does look like the Maelstrom has dropped by for a visit. As a result of this, the area around Moonglade is broken and flooded, but I don't think we will see this up close either. And that is because this area that you will see on the other side of the storm. This is of course connected to the tree we are climbing, and this is where we're going to fight the encounters. And if we turn the camera, it really feels like this is the intended perspective. So once again, this is something that we will see when we climb the tree, but it's nothing that we are going to be close enough to interact with. A part of the next area has been shown off as well, and that is Grizzly Hills. Here we are going to fight a corrupted version of Ursoc, and I don't want to be too wild in my speculations, but I think that his adventure guide description, "Rawr, I'm a bear," is slightly subject to change. And just as with the other areas, everything is so familiar, but at the same time it's twisted and dark and it's really feel like you are in this nightmare. So while there's no telling yet how good or bad this raid is going to be in terms of encounters and mechanics, at least it is already impressive to look at. And with this I'm going to end the early look at the Emerald Nightmare video. The map is clearly still in development, but it's cool to see how the Emerald Dream and Nightmare are coming together after being unused for so long. So if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will be back with more Legion content as soon as I can. But until then, take care guys.